Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating shift that is happening right now in the architecture and engineering worlds. We're going to take a close look at how intelligent CAD automation is fundamentally reshaping the design profession and really redefining what technical mastery actually means. Let's get started.
So, consider this critical question. What actually happens when your software does a little too much of the thinking? Think about it. A designer today can knock out in a matter of minutes what used to demand hours of careful drafting and manual correction. It's an incredible leap in delivery speed, for sure, but it introduces this immediate tension. When our intelligent tools start predicting our very next move, are we simply speeding up our workflow, or are we accidentally outsourcing our human thought? Here is our roadmap for today. First up, we'll explore the intelligent CAD era. Then we're going to uncover the 4 dangers of automation, followed by the cost of overdependence. After that, we'll map out how to design a better workflow. And finally, we'll project forward to see what the designer of 2035 is actually going to look like.
Let's dive right into Section 1, the intelligent CAD era.
Look, we all have to acknowledge that AutoCAD is no longer just a digital replacement for the old physical drawing board. It has evolved into a highly proactive environment. With features like smart blocks and AI-assisted support, the software is now a very active participant in the design process itself. Because of this, we're seeing a massive shift in how a designer actually spends their time. Routine drafting, things like renaming layers or applying standard dimensions, is shrinking down to a fraction of the workday. Theoretically, this frees up huge blocks of time for much higher value work, specifically complex coordination and creative concept development. Honestly, the productivity gains are just undeniable.
But here is the catch, and it's a big one. This efficiency introduces a core tension. It creates what we can call the illusion of competence. You see, it's incredibly easy to produce visually pristine drawings in record time just by clicking Accept on AI suggestions. But true competence? That requires actually understanding the physical forces, the tolerances, and the spatial logic behind every single line. When intelligent features anticipate your actions, it is so easy to reach a perfectly acceptable output without having a clue about the underlying process. We really risk creating a dangerous gap between just looking like an expert on screen and actually being technically sound in the real world.
Which brings us to Section 2, the 4 dangers of automation.
We really need to move past the shiny new features for a minute and uncover the specific, hidden, psychological, and technical risks of this technology. There are 4 systemic dangers that tend to pop up when we blindly accept suggested geometry or standards. They are design fixation, the erosion of technical understanding, automation bias, and the junior designer paradox. Let's unpack each of these individually so we can really understand what's at stake here.
Let's start by unpacking the first danger, design fixation. This essentially happens when we stick way too closely to the solutions the tool hands us. Imagine you're up against a super tight Friday afternoon deadline. When the software recommends a familiar, proven layout, it's incredibly tempting to just unconsciously accept it as your natural starting point, right? In commercial environments where speed is heavily rewarded, teams naturally lean on these proven automated templates. And the result? You get fast, easily defensible work that is completely, creatively indistinguishable from everyone else's. That leads directly into the second risk, the erosion of technical understanding. Think of design a bit like muscle memory. If you know exactly which button produces a staircase, but you've completely forgotten the structural logic required to actually build it, your skills atrophy. Skills naturally weaken when you stop practicing the intermediate reasoning steps. So when automated software constantly hides those steps in the background, designers lose the ability to independently verify if a digital detail will actually hold up on a physical construction site.
Then we face automation bias. This is a very well-documented human tendency to just trust an automated recommendation, even when our own eyes and other evidence are practically screaming that it might be wrong. A machine's confident, highly polished output actually discourages us from double-checking. A suggested CAD block might look absolutely flawless and incredibly credible, but it could easily contain baked-in assumptions that completely violate your specific site requirements or your local building codes.
Finally, we hit the junior designer paradox. Traditionally, entry-level professionals learned the ropes through the productive struggle of repetitious manual drafting and endless correction. If automation comes in and just removes that struggle entirely, junior staff might look incredibly productive on paper, but they're actually building far fewer durable mental models. This creates a pretty overwhelming situation where the entire burden of technical judgment and verification just gets shoved upwards onto the senior teams.
Now let's look at Section 3, the cost of overdependence.
So what exactly is the breaking point if we just let these habits of overdependence go unchecked? Well, it splits into two massive systemic costs. First, you get hidden technical failures. If a designer hasn't practiced their manual geometric reasoning, they are absolutely going to panic when constraints break or external files conflict during a really urgent revision. Monumental technical failures can easily hide out within perfectly clean drawings. Second, we face homogenized creativity. Because AI learns entirely from existing data, its suggestions just reflect what has already been created. We risk a future of perfectly drawn, technically refined work that is just visually repetitive and totally disconnected from social context.
And we have to look at the harsh business reality here. Accountability will always remain with the human. A client, a regulator, or a judge is never, ever going to accept, well, the computer chose it, as a defense for a safety failure. Furthermore, if your design firm is competing solely on who can run automated tools the fastest, you lose the exact distinctive expertise that justifies your professional fees in the first place. You simply become a commodity, and a commodity is incredibly easy to replace.
All right, let's talk solutions in Section 4, designing a better workflow. The good news in all of this is that automation is not the enemy. We just need a clear, actionable roadmap to manage it and use it to actually expand our creative possibilities. Here is a very tangible blueprint for training. It's a strict, manual-first, automation-second sequence. Step 1, beginners must practice core commands manually. Step 2, they have to prove they can reproduce and explain the underlying reasoning. Only then do they unlock Step 3, introducing automation as a productivity multiplier. We absolutely have to preserve those foundational skills before we hit the fast-forward button.
Now, for this human-centered workflow to actually succeed, we have to start demanding explainable design automation. We cannot accept black box solutions where the math is just completely hidden from view. Future software needs to transparently show us why a recommendation was made, what rules influenced it, and exactly what data it pulled from to get there. Designers must be fully equipped to challenge the machine's logic rather than just blindly accepting whatever it spits out.
Zooming out to an organizational level, teams really need to set some hard guardrails. You should require named human reviewers for all high-risk decisions. You need to create crystal clear audit trails that record exactly what the tool suggested versus what the human actually altered. And actively protect your ideation phase. Seriously, use hand sketches and physical models before you ever even open a standard digital library. Make originality a planned stage of your workflow, not just a lucky accident. And always prioritize and measure deep learning over sheer output speed.
Let's wrap up with Section 5, the designer of 2035.
So how do we redefine our ultimate role as humans in an industry that will inevitably be deeply embedded with AI? Well, it all comes down to one definitive skill for the next decade: automation literacy. This is way more than just mere software fluency. It is the critical ability to challenge, interpret, and safely override intelligent systems. The most valuable designers of the coming decade, they aren't going to be the fastest clickers, they're going to be the ones who know exactly how to define the right problem and hunt down weak digital assumptions.
We are looking at a really powerful evolution here. The designer's role is going to gradually shift from being a simple drafter to acting as a director, a critic, an integrator, and a curator of possibilities. It's an incredibly empowering shift, honestly. But remember, you can only be an effective director and curator if you have enough of that underlying technical knowledge to accurately judge the quality of what the machine is producing for you.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. As automation exponentially increases the sheer volume of stuff we can produce, the defining question of our industry really isn't whether software can design more things for us. The real question is, will we keep learning enough to decide what actually deserves to be designed? Keep your edge sharp out there, stay curious, and always understand the why behind the click. Thanks so much for exploring this with me.